Guys, it has been a baptism of fire at the Bernabeu. The unbelievable went ahead to happen at the Bernabeu. Guys, who saw City swallowing 3-0 at the Bernabeu? And amongst all that, a hat-trick to be scored by Valverde. And by the way, ever since this Champions League season went ahead to start, he had not netted any ball at the back of the net. You get? So, it's all shocking about this. But I want to let you know it's simple. This is what you're talking about. It's all about the Rokani Media Football. It's the match reaction. Real Madrid 3, Man City 0. Guys, football never ceases to surprise us. And here is another edition of what we call surprises never cease to come up in the game of football. I tell you, you get? Surprises never cease to come out in the game of football. So, all we want to understand is, how did this come about? You get? When you look at the 3 goals that Man City has gone ahead to concede, I tell you, an Arsenal fan will obviously jubilate. Because I always told people that Man City will shrink. And this season they are just building. You get? Next season, I tell you, they'll have a very different team altogether that is ready to obviously go head-to-head with any team in Europe. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun wherever you are, and let's obviously do the needful and put out the best of the best in here onto this channel. So we are powered by St. Maria Goret SS Katende. You understand? Admissions open. If you want to register, call +256 702 478 536, and every detail is really already up there onto the left bottom corner here down. You see, that's where the details are. So please go ahead and read all that, and then later you will get to really read this and obviously understand it step by step in there for you. Now, let's get to our game. We are done with that. Now, Real Madrid had close to 7 players out of this encounter. And that is the most shocking bit of it all. They had close to 7 players out. And I want to obviously read to you all those players that have been out of this encounter. Most of you might be thinking about Kylian Mbappe. Yeah, Mbappe has been really out in there. But him being out doesn't mean that he's the only one out. Madrid has gone ahead to obviously have very many players out injured. I don't know where he put that post, that was showing the number of players that Madrid had that have been really out and have been injured into this process. Let me go on Facebook because I posted it onto the Rokani Media Football. That is it. Let me go there. Let me go to that page and really read to you that list. And that's when you obviously come up and obviously understand that a lot really happened, and a beating was given out to a team known as Man City, and it really pained them at the side of Man City. They've been hammered, they've been destroyed, they've been annihilated, guys. They've gone ahead to obviously beat them bad, I must tell you. Now, when you look at the list of players that have been out, Jude Bellingham has been out. Rodrigo, his season is over. Dani Ceballos, Eder Militao, David Alaba, Alvaro Carreras, and Kylian Mbappe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players. Now, the shocking bit of it all is that if Man City can't get a win or a point, or even score 1 or 2 to reply to the 3 that Real Madrid has gone ahead to beat them, will they manage to overturn this result? That is the most important bit of it all. But they conceded stupidly. you know. And this is where I really disagree with Pep Guardiola sometimes. You get? He's a very good manager. I love him. But there are things that he does that I really disagree with him. Because if you are at what we call Santiago Bernabeu, you get? And you're having Nathan Ake, how come you start Nico O'Reilly, not Nathan Ake as a left back? Because the first goal, Nico O'Reilly was beaten by Valverde. You understand? And it was like they are targeting him because they need to eat that. He's naive, you know. He's playing at one of the most historical stadiums in the world, you know. Have you known the capacity of that stadium? Have you known the capacity of that stadium? Or you are just there talking, you know? Players that have gone ahead to play very many games go there and they feel and they're afraid and they feel threatened, and they obviously end up doing things that you don't even expect them to do. So who tells you that this guy could obviously go ahead and really look good in an 84%, in an 84,000 capacity, right? You guys, I just want to let you know the truth that Pep made a very big mistake. Nico O'Reilly, when he's playing in the Premier League, you play him in the midfield, and you are gonna be playing away at Real Madrid, and you go for a double pivot of Bernardo Silva and Rodrigo. That is bad. That is bad. Because for Real Madrid, they had Valverde and Tchouaméni. Only Valverde and Tchouaméni are really reputable, experienced midfielders, and there is no way Rodri could play a single pivot alongside these players. And when you look at the bench, he had Reinders Tijani, who could play in that midfield very well alongside that guy. He had Nico Gonzalez, right, who could obviously come in through and really offer a very huge shift. Even Nico O'Reilly would have gone ahead to obviously come in through and obviously do the needful. You get? But he was like, no way. They're looking really, looking weak. Lightweight team. Let me obviously play Bernardo in there. And when you play Bernardo in a double pivot, I think you are limiting him because you need him when going forward. As when you look at this entire front line of Man City, no one is more creative than Bernardo Silva, and obviously more important to the team of City than Bernardo. Look at that. Look at that. You get? Semenyo is not more creative than this guy. Doku is not more creative than this guy. Savinho is not more creative than this guy. Meaning that he had to drop in a Tijani here. You get? Drop in a Tijani here and have Rodri, such that you shield your back four very well. And then a Bernardo Silva in a 4-3-3 system. Then a front three of Erling Haaland, Semenyo, and Savinho. You get? You would have gone ahead, obviously, get what you want. But I think it really looked very, 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 very naive of Pep Guardiola for the number of games that's gone ahead, obviously, coming through and will play against Real Madrid. And he knows what Santiago Bernabeu is. Ever since he was the manager of Real Madrid, he played there as a player. So nobody knows what that stadium means like this guy. And that's why I was shocked. You get? About the decisions that he went ahead to do as a manager. And I'm like, who does this? Who does this? So Pep tested the bitterness of his own medicine because he would have gone ahead to do better. But it all came in through Federico Valverde, 20th minute. 27th minute, he came in through and obviously doubled the lead. And in the 42nd minute, he completed his hat-trick. But that third goal was really out of this world. I just loved what I saw, right? I loved what I saw for that second goal, and I really got moved by the performance of this player. And I tell you, yes, he's really good. Very, very good player that deserves respect in there for you. And he's a multi-dimensional player, sometimes being played as a right back in the midfield and everywhere, right winger. So he has done what he was bought in for as a player for the side of Real Madrid. You get? So Madrid is 3 goals up. Can Man City turn this? I don't know. But Abeloa came up with a system: sit back, let Man City have the ball, let them have the possession, but they won't obviously get anywhere near scoring against us, because amidst all what happened, Madrid had 11 shots, Man City had 9. 7 shots on target by Real Madrid, and Man City had 5. You get? So, Man City had 10 corners, and Real Madrid had 1. So, it is really one of those amazing times that you have to obviously come in here and obviously talk about in here onto what we call the Rokani Media Football. So, Madrid is coming to Man City next week, mid-Tuesday, and we'll wait to see how things really pan out. But this loss means a lot to the side of Man City, going away to play against West Ham. You get? And these are the most season-defining games, because Man City can find itself off the Champions League and the Premier League, and even losing the Carabao Cup in a space of 7 days. That is it. Because on Sunday, I think on Saturday, City comes up to play against a side called West Ham away. Arsenal is hosting Everton at home, right? Then midweek, they play against Real Madrid. After playing against Real Madrid on Sunday, that is next week, they'll play in the Carabao Cup final. 3 different competitions. All those 3 games are really very important. Remember, City goes into the game of West Ham knowing that Arsenal is 7 points ahead of them. And by the time they play, Arsenal would have already gone ahead to play, and they might have already gone ahead to stretch their lead to 10. You get? And if they happen to draw or really lose, they'll either be 10 points behind Arsenal or 9 points behind the club of Arsenal, though they'll be having a game in hand. But that won't help, because by the time City plays against Arsenal, they might even be 10-12, as after the game of West Ham, they have to play against a team known as Chelsea. And I think that will come in through after the international break. You understand? So that is it for the side of City. This is the most trying moment they are into, but I think the manager can obviously overturn this. We've seen teams come up and obviously overturn a 3-0 deficit, and they really even go through. We know, though it's always not an easy job, but with the players that City has, if Pep really gets the right pick, it's really great. And it's not looking good for English teams. You know, they are 6 in the round of 16. Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Newcastle, Spurs. But out of all those, no English team went ahead to win. Arsenal drew. Liverpool was beaten yesterday. Spurs was beaten badly. Newcastle drew with Barcelona, right? Man City has been beaten 3-0. Arsenal has drawn with Bayern Leverkusen 1-1. So, I think a team that is really most likely to do the needful is Arsenal. Chelsea has been beaten 5-2. Can they score 3 goals at the Stamford Bridge? Guys, it's really hard. But let's get into these Opta Joe stats and see what you guys think about them. Pep Guardiola suffered his joint heaviest defeat in the first leg of the UEFA Champions League knockout stage tie, along with 3-0 defeats to Barcelona in 2014, 2015 semi-finals, and Liverpool in the 2017-2018 quarterfinal. That is it. So the guy is really having huge headache. And we've been told that for the very first time, you know, English teams have gone ahead to come up and obviously lose by a margin of 3 goals on the same match day. Right? This is the first time 2 English clubs have lost by 3 goals plus on the same day in the UEFA Cup or UEFA Champions League history. PSG 5-2 against Chelsea, Real Madrid 3-2 against Man City. They've gone ahead to be humbled. That is it. Now, the man of the match, that is Federico Valverde, scored as many goals in the first half against Man City as he had in 75 appearances in the UEFA Champions League prior to tonight's game 3. So, he had only scored 3 goals in the Champions League in the 75 games that's going to play. But today he has come up and obviously scored Man City to the max. So guys, your thoughts onto that are welcome in the comment section below. Real Madrid 3, Man City 0. City destroyed in Madrid. I think that's the best title that this video deserves to have. So I sign out for now. I'll see you later when you see me. And I just love the fact that we are obviously growing huge in numbers and you guys are being supportive. We are having 28,400 subscribers, and all you're waiting for is the 600 to hit 29,000. And I know by the end of this month, we'd have already gone ahead to hit 29,000 subscribers. So how do you subscribe? Lower right bottom corner is a place to be. Smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After subscribing, hit the notification bell. That will enable you to get notified every time we upload a video onto this beautiful channel. Rokani David is out, and see you later, my mates. Bye bye.